Good evening and welcome to the Survivor Series review edition of WrestleTalkShow. I'm your host Joshua Zimmerman, here again to bring you the latest and greatest wrestling news in the sport of professional wrestling. Tonight we'll be covering results of WWE Survivor Series, which was last Sunday night. Uh, I'm going to kind of skim through this and give you my opinion in this video. I've detailed the full review. All my notes are on the review page at www.wrestletalkshow.webs.com. There you can read up on everything that happened last night, including little liners that I probably won't mention in here, considering the time constraints. Interactive forum. Send your show emails to cwecompany@gmail.com. Friend us on facebook.com/cwecompany. Twitter, we're on there. We want to thank our audience in general. Without you, this would not be possible. We'd also like to introduce that we are now accepting monthly subscribers to our website. We'll offer exclusive content to those subscribers starting at just $3 a month. But regardless, if you choose to donate, we ask for as little or as much as you can offer. One-time donations or non-subscriber donations are always welcome. But if you'd like access to extra content, extra videos, bonus material, all kinds of neat stuff, unique username and password protected, so only you members have access to this. It's a private page within the website, so feel free to send me an email at cwecompany@gmail.com and we can get you set up. And while you're there, send us a show topic or discussion and post something on the forums. Give us a shout out. Let us know what you think. First off, for Survivor Series, we find out that Michael Cole, Matt Striker, and Jerry the King Lawler will be our announcers for this event. The first match is Daniel Bryan for the United States title. The one thing I noted in here is Michael Cole commented that Daniel Bryan was recently away from the WWE because he was banished from Nexus. I also put this in the notes, but we the fans know it was because WWE didn't know what they had until they needed them at SummerSlam. But we know how that all works. Back and forth match between the Daniel Bryan and Ted DiBiase here. Commentators are spending most of their time commenting on Maurice for the most part. Bryan delivers a strong clothesline and a backdrop off the top rope, locks in that LeBell lock, and Daniel Bryan retains his title. While Daniel Bryan is celebrating walking up the ramp, the Miz sneaks attacks him, hits him with the briefcase, knocking him unconscious. This follows into a Miz promo where he makes fun of Miami, compares the Nexus to Miami by saying that both the Nexus and Miami feel that they're owed something. And this is where it kind of got interesting, especially when you started looking at time frames and how matches were falling into the 3-hour window. He talked about having a title shot at any time like he usually does, but he also commented that he's getting tired of carrying the briefcase around, and like he always does, maybe he could do it tonight. He asserted this by saying it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. This kind of got me excited because it seemed like the perfect time to do it, with the story that John Cena is all emotionally involved to begin with, because free or fired, and it kind of would have played well into it, but I'll get into that in a minute. Next up is Sheamus versus John Morrison. Uh, Irish Irish crab by Boston crab by by Sheamus. Morrison rolls him up. Sheamus with a kick out, attempted Starship Pain, but no. Running knee strike by Morrison to Sheamus. Knocked out Sheamus. 3 count. Morrison wins. Next up, you got the Knucklehead commercial. And I gotta call these commercials because that's what they were. WWE endorsed commercials. You pay $44.95 for WWE material commercials. Knuckleheads, it kind of made me laugh because it was an in theaters on DVD at Walmart in what seemed like a month. No disrespect to the Big Show and whatnot. John Cena and R-Truth talk. R-Truth offers to run in and take Barret out. That way Cena could retain the title and it wouldn't be, Orton could retain the title and it wouldn't be Cena's fault, so Cena couldn't be fired. He'd still be able to keep his job. Cena obviously rejected it and said he will call the match down the middle. Next up is Dolph Ziggler versus Cabal for the Intercontinental title. Cabal super kicks Ziggler to the head. Both men are down. Ziggler rolls him up, pulls Cabal's tights. 1, 2, 3. Ziggler retains. Jack Swagger before the 5-on-5 elimination. Makes fun of Miami again. Dashing Cody Rhodes interferes. Team Del Rio and Team Mysterio have a stare down before their match. Great crowd response for MVP. Crowd chants MVP. Del Rio all but disappears after a show off with Big Show. And in the swing of things, Drew McIntyre left all alone in the end of the match. Team Mysterio wins with Big Show and Rey Mysterio still standing. Next up is another WWE sponsored commercial, but this one is the first debut for the WWE TLC pay-per-view that will broadcast December 19th, 2010. Next up, Josh Matthews interviews Randy Orton, and I kind of seen what they were talking about with this commentator or interviewer. He just seems out of place. I don't know. I don't want to say I hopped on a bandwagon because I didn't. I think that you either have a knack for it or you don't, or you can let someone respond, but you more or less got to show a reaction, like, I hate to say it, like Michael Cole used to do back in the day, where you're affected by the promo that what you're affected by what you're hearing this person say he's going to do, or hearing a story, or whatever the situation may be. Reaction is everything in this business. Randy Orton says that although he feels for John Cena, it is John Cena who got himself into this situation. I couldn't help but kind of agree with that, but I think it made for a good story build, wouldn't you? Says that he's only worried about Wade Barrett and keeping the world heavyweight, the WWE title. He said whether it be RKO or punt to the skull or both, he will take out Wade Barrett. By the way, this will probably be a two-parter because even in the recap, I haven't even gotten started yet. Next up, you have what I think I called last night in the preview show, guys, the match filler. Lay Cole versus Natalya. And you'll even notice in my notes, and I'm going to start it here. This is probably why it's going to be a two-parter, because this alone made me mad. You have Natalya, who is a Hart. They pushed her as part of the Hart Dynasty. They made this such a big deal. But it's against the Divas title, not even the women's title. Did this belt replace I hate to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, but this belt didn't replace the women's title, did it? I mean, because Natalya can wrestle. I think if it was showcased her wrestling abilities a little better and the women were once again seen as competitors and not just match fillers and eye candy for people to look at, you could have matches like you used to have with Trish Stratus and women who made that entertaining. You wanted to see that match because it wasn't girly wrestling, it was wrestling, and it was a pretty good fight that usually didn't see coming. Now they get knocked around, they get quick pins, they laugh, they giggle, they gossip. It's a it's just childish. It's nothing that develops into stories. It's nothing that helps with stories. They don't help their characters in any way. Some of them make themselves seem retarded with the gimmicks they're given, the stories or whatever. Um, but it is what it is. But I think, getting back to the point, if they pushed the Hart Dynasty, if they pushed Natalya as a legitimate wrestler, trained by the Harts, in it to win it, a true champion at heart, I think you could have built a little more onto this. But hey, what do I know? A little more could have come out of this, and it could have made Natalya, it could have put Natalya really over, and maybe the female demographic would change where the females start saying, hey, this chick can kick ass. I think I'll tune in for the next couple weeks and see what happens next. Right off the bat, it's announced that it's going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match. I didn't like this because it means that both members of Lake Cool, even though they have to tag against one person, it started out, as soon as the match started, they took the obvious advantage, got Natalya out of the ring and double teamed her. But back in the ring, very quickly, Natalya gets Michelle in a trademark sharpshooter, and Michelle has no choice but to tap. Natalya is now your new Divas champ. Lake Cool attacks Natalya, but the return of Beth Phoenix helps Natalya as Beth Phoenix and Natalya clean house, and then the two celebrate. Next, you have The Miz starring in a Paper Jams commercial, telling people how awesome he is and how kids can rock Paper Jams. Again, WWE sponsored commercials. It's just their own product they're getting money for, you know? It's not like it's a commercial for Trident or Expedia. All this and more at WrestleTalkShow.webs.com. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll have the outcome of Kane versus Edge for the World Heavyweight title. The tag team titles were up for grabs last night at Survivor Series. Announcement from the general manager, and the free or fired match. Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton for the WWE title. Will Cena be free, or will he be fired? All this in part 2. Thanks for watching. Part 2 immediately following part 1.